All right, Javier, let's look at your paper. MLA format first. This looks good. This looks good. You got an extra space right here that you need to fix, and that's because this is so big. Macbeth's Plague, I think, is kind of a weak title overall. All right, with your introduction, you start with a quote, which is fine. The problem is a couple of things. Number one, period needs to go at the end. Number two, if you're going to say a quote, think back to your speech days here. If you're going to say a quote, you got to follow it up with some pretty poignant thing about that quote. Instead, you jump right into essentially what this looks like to me is your thesis statement, because you go through his symptoms. You say that it impaired his judgment, and I mean, this essentially is your thesis statement. So essentially, this should move to the end. So after this, you really need to have this set up to your topic. You jump right into the character and the symptoms without even setting up the play, without even going through this quote and talking about it. And then you have you're essentially elaborating on your main points, which is fine. In the introduction, you have a run-on sentence here. But yeah, you need to just reorganize this paragraph, streamline it, and make it flow a little bit better, because it's kind of all over the place now with, you do have kind of an attention getter, but then you go thesis, then you go explain the main points, which you already did right here basically, and then you're missing the topic of the paper, which is that Macbeth suffers from a disorder that impairs him and so on and so forth, and then you're missing the thesis statement down here. So you really got a lot of those points to kind of get in the right order. You don't need this space in between paragraphs, and you got plenty of room. Your paper is 5 pages long, so you don't need to waste that space anyway, but especially for MLA format, you don't need to do that. All right, this is actually what I consider a really good topic sentence. I think this is a really good way to set this up. Now, you go on to talk about the definition of hallucinations, which I don't know why you're using the dictionary when you should be using one of those reputable sources, and you don't even give an outside source for this reputable source anyway, so you already kind of have 2 strikes here against you. His first hallucination when he saw the dagger in front of him, which, remember when I said don't say a line and then use a quote from the play to just say what you already said, and that's exactly what you did. This has got to be a period at the end, and you really got to reread some of these lines, Javier, because, and I'm going to get to word choice here in just a second, but there are so many lines that just are poorly worded. Macbeth seeing this dagger was because him not wanting to but having to kill Duncan. I don't even know what that means. So go back through and really look at that. Don't use the word really. This overall messed with Macbeth's well-being, so this should be hyphenated well-being. And I don't know what you mean by overall messed with it. What does that exactly mean? So the next hallucination is Act 2, Scene 2. Here's a run-on sentence. He heard voices of many people, but he heard a voice. I'm not sure how that is many. He heard a voice cry. Again, you don't have a period at the end here. So this only shows that Macbeth's sleepless days caused sleep deprivation, thus causing him to have more things happen to him due to the sleep deprivation. Kind of a roundabout way to get there. Number one, this is a bunch of plot, okay? Which I want you to have specific examples. That's important. But all you're doing is showing me plot, showing me plot, showing me plot. You're just going over the story again and again and again, which isn't helping you analyze anything to do with the symptoms. Here's where we're going to talk about word choice. Let's count how many times you've used the word had seen or seen. The next hallucination that Macbeth had seen was of Macbeth's ghost. The next hallucination that Macbeth saw was of Macbeth's ghost, or Banquo's ghost. Was seen, had seen, first seen. Notice a pattern forming here, okay? You got to come up with different words. Actually, I mean, number one, the verb tense is all wrong anyway, but you got to come up with different words here. And you just kind of, again, you're just kind of repeating yourself and going through this, and it's not actually proving anything. I mean, this is starting to analyze. It was finally getting to him. He's fully convinced it's actually a real person, but then you jump right into just talking about this. I don't even think this is a really, really great line to analyze, because it's just him shaking his head at him, but it's more about the guilt that he feels that, the ghost, that he killed his buddy. Again, period's got to go at the end here. Had seen, again, he saw the ghost and was in complete shock about seeing it. We're going to use see to death here in this paragraph. Most people had seen that their king simply wasn't okay and was suffering something at the time. They didn't know, but he was suffering from sleep deprivation. We got it, okay? You don't need to say that again. But there's no real analysis here. There's no real reason why we need to know that he was sleep deprived. You got to find that reason, put it in your thesis, and then say it throughout your body paragraphs. So you have a little bit of transition here, but I'd love to see a more solid transition from this paragraph to this paragraph, similar again to what we did in speech class, to say, now that I've done this, now it leads into this, that sort of thing, to get a flow going. All right, so now we're going to talk about moodiness. And again, silly mistakes, Javier, that we need to work on. Double periods here that obviously shouldn't be there. Again, why are we using vocabulary.com as our outside source? It just doesn't make any sense to me. He obviously, don't use obviously, suffered from this as he quickly could change moods. Don't use very. He was quickly down with some of his friends. Then, so this is a run-on sentence. No citation here. No citation here. He's trying to prepare, comma, and he ordered for one of his closest people, Seaton, to come to him. He calls for Seaton, and Seaton doesn't show up. So here's another comma. For only a few seconds, and Macbeth instantly turns into a menace and starts screaming Seaton's name as he waits for him to come and assist Macbeth. So, yes, I understand that this is moodiness, but you need to analyze this a little bit, because yes, he's moody, but he also realizes he's about ready to get attacked by 10,000 soldiers. I don't know if that's moodiness or just anxiousness to get prepared, one of the two. Also, I don't really think that his reaction to his wife's death is moodiness. It's more numbness, I guess. This is a fragment sentence, so you need to fix that. But now, no comma. He only disregarded the fact that she was dead and didn't bother with it. Don't use very. So go back and look at that. And I don't know whether you can add in, some different examples of moodiness, because I don't really feel like your examples in here are moody. Maybe like I think of moodiness as like giant swings of emotion. So how is he like drastically swinging from one thing to the next? Maybe it's he's really confident in his prophecies and then he's not. Maybe it's he doesn't want to kill Duncan, then he does. I don't know. I think that you could justify it a couple different ways. But if you had a better source than vocabulary.com to talk about the actual, medical reason, then maybe that would make a little bit more sense as to why that's moody. So definitely something you got to work on. And then, again, strong transition into the next paragraph. Hey, good job. You actually did this right with punctuation of titles. You're one of the few so far that have done that. So congrats on that. So in this paragraph, you're going to talk about impaired judgment. Don't need a comma here. Again, reference.com. We got to look at our sources here. Make basic decisions. Okay. Now, you've defined it as a person not being able to make basic decisions, okay? But then you bring up the idea that he decides to kill Duncan, that he decides to kill Banquo. So I don't know how your definition actually fits with your examples here. So I don't know how you're going to go back and justify some of these things where he's not. I would. I don't know, because he makes he changes his mind on his decisions, but I could think of other things as impaired judgment. Like, impaired judgment to me is just making terrible decisions, that he's under duress and makes terrible decisions. I'm thinking when he decides to fight Macduff at the end, but going to see the witches. I don't know, how is that an impaired decision, because the quote you use is how disrespectful he is, or how not in awe he is of them. But how is that impaired? He goes in their home and disrespects the witches, but I don't know why that's impaired. You don't do a good job of explaining that, and mostly because your outside source is terrible for it. So you're going to have to figure out how to make that work in the long run. Weren't askewed at the time. That's a good word choice. He surely would have known the better choice to make. So that's a good way to end that paragraph, actually. I like that, Javier. All right, so you list your main points. This whole end part I just get rid of. Or really try to reword this, because it sounds funny, the disorder that Macbeth has suffered from. I mean, we already know that. You already stated that throughout the whole thing. So you go through and restate your points into sentences, which is good. I think you do actually a really good job of summarizing what you've said. This gets long and drawn out. I think you might be able to change that a little bit and elongate it even a little bit. Okay, I've already mentioned that I am not a huge fan of your sites, the reference.com, which you didn't. Okay, let's back up. Sorry, Javier. Things you need to work on. Move this up. You didn't actually cite either of these two things. You barely cited some of the quotes. You cited reference.com, but it looks like this was your keyword that you need to put. This is your keyword. This isn't correct for the most part as far as in-text citation. And this doesn't all get italicized. Only certain things get italicized in a works cited entry. So you're definitely going to need to work on that. So overall, Javier, we got to work on a few things to kind of bring it all together. And looking forward to a rewrite from you.